you miss the Avengers? Well, the brand new team may fill that void. You probably know the Thunderbolts are coming in 2025, and today we'll be breaking down each member of the legendary superhero team. Let's start with Bucky Barnes. He made his first appearance in the MCU in Captain America: The First Avenger. He was Steve Rogers' best friend since childhood and a skilled soldier. He made the cut in the army before Steve Rogers even had a chance. Bucky's cybernetic prosthetic arm is a key part of why he is so powerful, adding to his superhuman strength and durability. Due to the Hydra experiments that were put on him, Bucky possesses strength, speed, agility, and endurance beyond that of any human that we normally would see. Unlike Steve, Bucky was confident and physically capable from a young age. When World War II broke out, he enlisted in the army and he made the cut, unlike Steve. During the war, he was thought to be dead by an accident with Steve, and Steve, he took it hard. But Bucky was secretly captured by Hydra. They gave him a metal arm and brainwashed him and experimented on his body. He reemerged decades later as a Hydra assassin, the Winter Soldier, in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Already skilled in combat, Bucky spent years as nothing but like a human weapon, which turned him into an expert marksman and hand-to-hand combatant. So there Bucky is, and he's completely brainwashed, but his intelligence is still intact, which makes him an even more useful asset to Hydra. The time he spent as a covert assassin made him one of the most dangerous operatives in the world, doing everything from espionage to technical planning. The way I see it is he was probably the one who could take out John Wick. So he isn't as physically enhanced as someone who takes the super soldier serum. The experiments Hydra performed on Bucky's body helped to slow his aging and grant him accelerated healing. Steve does manage to save Bucky from Hydra's control, but his character arc has been inevitably marked by his past traumatic experience. The decades living as the Winter Soldier deeply changed Bucky. He went from being friendly and charming to this cold and detached person. During the time that he was brainwashed, Bucky killed anyone who Hydra wanted him, including Tony Stark's parents. In Captain America: Civil War, Bucky's past actions influenced the rift between Steve and Tony. After the Civil War, Wakanda gave Bucky amnesty and kept him in a cryostasis until a cure for his brainwashing could be found. But unlike Ted Williams and Walt Disney, being frozen worked out for Bucky. During the Infinity War, Bucky was given a new vibranium prosthetic arm, and it's pretty sweet. He fought alongside the Wakandans against the invasion of Thanos' army of Outriders. The guilt Bucky carries from realizing all he has done is better explored in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Bucky's struggles with identity are the center of the show, along with Sam Wilson's own issues with the Captain America mantle, while they work together to stop the Flag Smashers and end up becoming friends. Now he's ready to become a superhero. Second on the list is Black Widow, also known as Yelena Belova, who made her MCU debut in Black Widow, introduced as Natasha Romanoff's sarcastic adoptive younger sister. I think we all like when she made fun of Natasha for the way that she drops and does those little poses. You know, she called her a poser. Born in Russia, Yelena was raised as part of a Soviet sleeper family alongside Natasha. When their mission ended, the sisters were forcibly sent to the Red Room, a brutal espionage program that turned young girls into elite assassins. Yelena spent most of her life under the control of the Red Room, becoming a formidable fighter. She has no superpowers, but her training and combat skills make her one of the deadliest MCU characters. Like Natasha, she's an elite spy capable of taking down enemies far stronger than herself by using precision and strategy. Well, impulsive at times, but Yelena is a quick thinker, adapting to any situation, like a fight in an elevator perhaps. After breaking free from the program due to an antidote that neutralized the mind control chemicals, she set out to free other Black Widows from the Red Room. Yelena discovered Natasha had died and was sent by Valentina, who, we'll discuss her later in the video, to kill Clint Barton. She went after him in Hawkeye, believing he was responsible for Natasha's death. During their fight, Clint refuses to retaliate, trying to convince Yelena that Natasha sacrificed herself willingly to save the world. When he performs a secret whistle that only Natasha and Yelena used, she finally realizes he's telling the truth. But at the same time, she apparently continues to work for Val and is recruited by her to become part of the Thunderbolts. Some fans believe that's because Val will tell her that the mission was a test, and she knew Clint would eventually prove his innocence. The test was meant to see if Yelena has what it takes to be the team's leader, to accept the mission to kill an Avenger. But something tells me that Yelena just might not trust Val this whole time. It's keep your friends close, keep your enemies even closer. Or maybe she's just a fan of V. Much like Bucky Barnes, Yelena also embarks on a journey of self-discovery after being freed from the Red Room. Seeing purpose beyond being a weapon, her role in Hawkeye showed how she struggled with her identity, but Thunderbolts will apparently expand on that, putting her at the forefront of events. Third on the list is Alexei Shostakov, also known as Red Guardian. He's only appeared in Black Widow. His country's only super soldier, he was introduced as the Soviet Union's answer to Captain America. After his mission in the United States ended, Alexei was imprisoned by General Dreykov. Though he was once a proud Soviet hero, he became a washed-up prisoner. Natasha and Yelena freed him, and he had a new chance to prove he could still fight. And he sort of proves it. In the upcoming movie, he'll be reunited with Yelena when she asks for his help. Likely because she is struggling with the idea of being on a team, and having a familiar face in it with her would be better. His character will be a comic relief on the team, and he's apparently the only one who likes the name Thunderbolts. Let's jump into the fourth, John Walker. He was introduced as the new Captain America, chosen by the US government to replace Steve Rogers after his retirement, which quickly took a very dark turn. He made his first MCU appearance in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He struggled with the pressure of living up to Captain America's legacy. Despite his military training and abilities, Walker lacked Steve's moral compass and humility. He tried to demand respect as Captain America, but his own personal insecurities pushed him down a dark path. His frustration peaked with him taking the Super Soldier Serum, which enhanced his abilities, but also amplified his aggression and arrogance. After losing control and publicly executing a flag smasher who had already surrendered, Walker was stripped of the Captain America title. He was later recruited by Valentina, who gave him a new identity as US Agent. In the Thunderbolts trailer, we've seen Walker reading some unfavorable news about himself. He will apparently remain one of the most ambiguous characters in the franchise, and he may demonstrate his gratitude for Valentina with mindless obedience. Unlike the original comic book version of the character, the MCU's version of Taskmaster is revealed to be Antonia, the daughter of General Dreykov. Let's jump into Antonia Dreykov, another Thunderbolts character who made her MCU debut in Black Widow. Wow, this movie is basically Black Widow 2. As a child, Antonia was caught in an explosion caused by Natasha Romanoff when she attempted to kill Dreykov. Antonia survived, but was left with brain damage. Her father experimented on her, turning her into Taskmaster by implanting a chip in her brain that allowed her to perfectly mimic the fighting styles of anyone she observed. She can mimic the best fighters in the MCU perfectly, being able to analyze and counter an opponent's moves in real time. Her chip is complemented by a high-tech helmet that assists in her combat and memory retention. After being freed from Dreykov's control in the end of Black Widow, Antonia is probably feeling just as lost as Yelena. Next we have the one and only Ghost, also known as Ava Starr. She made her MCU debut in Ant-Man and the Wasp as an antagonist. She was introduced as a tragic figure who was desperate to cure her condition, which caused her body to phase uncontrollably through matter. Unlike the Ghost from the comics, who was a male mercenary, the MCU reimagined the character as a female victim of a scientific accident. When an experiment went wrong, her parents were killed. Ava survived, but the accident altered her molecular structure, causing the reality of her body to become unstable. She was later taken in by S.H.I.E.L.D. and became a covert operative, using her phasing abilities for espionage. When S.H.I.E.L.D. collapsed due to Hydra's infiltration, she was left on her own to look for a cure for her condition, which was slowly killing her. In Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ava is helped by Janet to stabilize her quantum essence. Since then, her fate has been a mystery, but it's safe to assume she too would love a chance at redemption for her past actions. And last but not least, we need to talk about Sentry, who will make his MCU debut in Thunderbolts. We still don't know if Bob or the Sentry or whatever he's going to be called in this will be a member of the Thunderbolts or not, but here's how we think his story fits into the movie. Bob Reynolds has godlike strength, being often compared to DC's Superman, but his immense power comes with a tragic downside, as he carries a dark version of himself known as the Void. Bob was a meth addict who broke into a laboratory and ingested the Sentry serum, a compound meant to recreate the super soldier serum. Upon taking a hit of this stuff, he also fractured his mind, creating a destructive and uncontrollable alter ego. In Thunderbolts, he may be a super weapon created by the government to be the most powerful hero on Earth, but his unstable nature could make him a major threat to the team and the entire MCU. There's the possibility that the film will maintain Sentry's origin story from the comics as an addict stealing the serum. He just breaks into the Avengers Tower in search of his next high. The team may discover Bob has powers at the same time as himself and Valentina do, distracting the protagonist from the CIA director's shady operations momentarily. Now that we've covered all the characters, let's dive into the trailer and upcoming release. Thunderbolts is scheduled to be released on May 2nd, 2025. It's going to be the last film in the MCU's Phase 5 and follow the group of anti-heroes going on missions for the United States government. In context, this means they indirectly work for Thaddeus Ross, who will not only become the Red Hulk in Captain America: Brave New World, but also the President of the United States. We suspect that the team will be named after the President's nickname, Thunderbolt, even though that's not what happens in the comics. The reason for the asterisk in this title is still a mystery, but we've seen a scene in the footage released in 2024 where Bucky says, "We can't call ourselves that," when Alexi says the group's name. We believe the team will be given the name by Val under the President's orders, but they will not only mostly hate the name, they will eventually realize the CIA and the entire government are being run by people they can't trust. They go rogue, changing their name in the process. How did the MCU build up the narrative to this point? Well, it has a lot to do with one other character in particular and the growing political challenges since the blip. Let's get into it.
Well, these boots are not made for walking.
From the trailer and her role so far in the MCU, we already know that Valentina Allegra de Fontaine is behind the assembling of the Thunderbolts. Val is the director of the CIA who bought the Avengers Tower from Tony Stark after Civil War. Since Iron Man brought back the vanished half of the world population, Val has been appearing in MCU projects recruiting anti-heroes to work for her. Her first MCU appearance happens in the episode Truth of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Soon after John Walker kills Nico, she compliments him on taking the super soldier serum and promises an opportunity to work again. We've seen her and her influence again in other 2021 projects. In Black Widow, she lied about Clint Barton being responsible for Natasha Romanoff's death to recruit Yelena, who then went after him in the series Hawkeye. Thunderbolts will come out soon after Captain America: Brave New World, and Val is likely working closely with Thaddeus Ross. This makes a lot of sense considering Ross has been trying to control superpowered individuals for a long time. Ross will likely antagonize Sam Wilson in his first Captain America movie because Sam works under his own moral code. Bucky's friendship with Sam might be a key factor in the Thunderbolts realizing Val is sending them on questionable missions. In the trailer, it looks like the team may become trapped within a reality shaped by the Void. This leads us to believe that the Void is the antagonist in Thunderbolts, and Bob will eventually learn how to control his powers thanks to intelligent teamwork by the Thunderbolts. But for now, we have to wait until May to find out what really happens in the movie. What are your expectations for Thunderbolts? Let us know in the comments below, and until next time, thanks for watching CBR.